Good day, my name is Bluesuit and today I'll be going over my review of the early access dungeon diving story focused indie adventure ARPG known as Wigmund The Return of the Hidden Knights. In Wigmund The Return of the Hidden Knights you play as Wigmund, traveling deep into the king's castle to uncover why the king went missing and to slay as many monsters as you can along the way. Much of the story in Wigmund, The Return of the Hidden Knights, is still under development, so much so that the early access actually starts the player off in Chapter 3 of the game's story. It's a pretty jarring move since I had no idea where I was, or who my companions around me were. The story will obviously develop over the course of Wigmund's early access, but right now players really shouldn't expect to be wowed by its plot. The first thing that I want to talk about with Wigmund is its controls. In an attempt to break off from the old school linear simple point and click combat, Wigmund has developed something that's on the much more overcomplicated end of the spectrum. As par for the course, you can click to move around, but clicking on enemies doesn't actually attack them. To enter attack mode, you'll need to hold left control while clicking to attack or right clicking to block. However, it doesn't just end there. While holding left control, you can also left click and drag in different directions, performing different styles of melee attacks like stabbing lunges or broad swings relative to the direction you drag your mouse, or alternatively rolling if you right clicked. And on top of that, many enemies are highly mobile, so you need to release left control to move every time you want to close a gap or create distance. I rebound a few of these keys to help myself out, but even still the mouse and keyboard is really not recommended. Very fortunately, the developer, the Scholastics, delayed the release of Wigmund The Return of the Hidden Knights so that they could implement full controller support, and it's definitely been a blessing. The controls aren't customizable on the controller, and there are a few times in the menus where it really doesn't feel intuitive, but all of the overcomplication that came with the keyboard and mouse controls have been relieved. The only issue that I have with them now is that the dodge and block are the same button. If you want to dodge, you tap it, and if you want to block, you hold the button down. The issue with this setup is that it causes a delay when you want to block, which can cost you your life in a fight. The first major issue rears its head throughout most of Wigmund, and that's that everything that it tries to do has been done before and done better. The loot system, for example, works. There are a bunch of different gear slots for gear, even individual shoulder guards and knee pads, but it isn't randomized at all, and finding gear feels very robotic, like every other player probably found the exact same gear in the exact same spot as I did. The level design is another good example. The levels are actually really pretty, especially for a small indie developer, but they're really just a series of rectangular rooms with enemies, one after another, without any real feeling of choice or exploration. I came across one of Wigmund's few puzzles and I was confused by how easy it was. The game presented me with a puzzle, told me exactly how to solve it, and then just let me pass. Lastly, and this is the one reason why I really can't recommend Wigmund The Return of the Hidden Knights, is the actual amount of content in its current state of early access. As I said, you'll start in Chapter 3, which is roughly halfway through the game. Once you do start, there's only 2 to 4 hours of content right now, and you're only able to play on 2 different maps. The Scholastics have stated that they hope to release further chapters in the next 6 months, with the complete 12-hour story spanning across 5 chapters. But with what's out right now, this really feels more like a demo than an early access title. Wigmund The Return of the Hidden Knights releases into early access on Steam on February 25th, 2021. The Scholastics haven't yet mentioned how much it's going to cost, but they have stated that it will be cheaper when it releases and the price will slowly increase as development happens. But I'm betting that it really won't be worth its weight. Wigmund is a really great looking game with challenging and engaging combat with interesting abilities, but the fact that it doesn't really do anything we haven't seen before, coupled with its shallow loot system and very short current campaign, I'm valuing Wigmund The Return of the Hidden Knights at $9 in its current state, and I'd recommend that players wait for a sale or at least a few updates before looking to pick it up. I hope you enjoyed this review of Wigmund The Return of the Hidden Knights. Come see me on Twitch, where you can watch our reviews in progress 5 nights a week. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Until next time, peace!